Yeah.
Oh, look, here's another problem that's popular in Kuwait. I got graded based on my looks.
Man.
Man.
Oh God. Look
In
at
the
the
grand.
what's happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So anti-view will be like, say you're a college student, you're like, okay, there are too many classes. I can't take this. I'm gonna fail. Everything's gonna be over. I'm gonna be canceled on Twitter. All of that at once, right? Bird eye view says you still have the food on the table. You still have a family. You can still
You
try
can
again.
you can fail
Chill.
a course and try it again. Yeah.
Yeah, you start making a progression. More importantly, let's look at all the cases of people who went in a situation like you. Let's ask around. Okay, who was struggling with their college career? Let's ask them how they dealt with it, or whether they made it. Because I don't remember a person in life that hasn't had a hard college situation. Like at least like a year, right? There has to be one dark year in your college curriculum.
Well, except the people who went to private colleges.
Even if,
Even if, yeah, even if.
because here's the thing, it's the grind, right? It's not a matter of it's not just a matter of doing the work and passing. It's like every day the professor is an entitled piece of shit who never worked a day in his life outside of teaching, so he doesn't
And
have
you
any
have to hear
perspective on the real
him.
world.
Hear his bitching. Yeah.
Yep. He spent his
Just
entire
binge.
life in academia. And most importantly, sleep schedule is weird, too many homeworks, and you miss like 5 minutes of class, and the doctor shuts the door in your face, and that is that.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
painful. That's painful. Like,
Yep.
like college would be much more fun, much more easier if the professors were human. I swear.
Yeah,
It's not
if
that they're-
people are more fluid. Or
Here's the
you know,
thing.
you give excuses.
In my opinion, you can't be a professor if you haven't done an actual job. So if you're
Just
if you're a,
feel.
P-
Yeah.
if you have a PhD in engineering, you must have built at least one thing. You know,
Know how it works. Know how people feel when they do work.
know the value of certain numbers. Because to me, there are two types of professors I've dealt with. There was you can tell the professors who care about theory over practicality, right? Or what's in the field. They worry about the 0.07. If it was 0.05, they'd cross it. But the guy who has been in a practical field sees the value, knows that he had to quadruple check in order to get the right value. So in an exam environment, it is
When
almost
there's a time
impossible.
limit. Yeah.
Yep, it's almost impossible to get the right values. So
Yep.
he'd be like, okay, I will have to do Zeus points, but not that much, right? But what happens is most professors go through academia and then start working in academia. And when that starts happening, they just kind of put their own perspective on life. It doesn't help that professors keep teaching till they're like 80 and they're out of touch with the world, right?
Look at the chat. Look at the chat. College would have been much easier if professors weren't on their deathbeds.
Yeah, yep, that's exactly what I was referring to. Yeah,
It's like they're
most-
spoiled children. They haven't seen the perspective of the world, some of the perspectives of the world.
They haven't. That is true enough. Because here's the thing: a doctor who knows his worth is a rare thing, but they're the best thing you'll ever see in your life.
Yeah.
Because they're understand, and there's a difference between a compassionate teacher and a teacher who knows their worth. Very different. Because there's always that one professor who sits down. They're very agreeable, so they really like their students to do well. They can be pushed around, But
Yeah, that's might not be a very good professor.
but if you touch on their professor pride, they're gonna go crazy, right? If you start devaluing them, the only reason they help you is because you value them. But the professor who knows his worth shows up, gives you tasks, and he knows that there's a professional relationship between you and him, in which he is required to help you know what you're doing, and you're required to actually respect him. And that is it. Everything else is up to the exchange between the two. Right? It's just In the US, I actually wouldn't recommend going to college, funny enough. Like,
The
we
things
got
that
it
have
free.
been-
We
It
got it
reminded
free.
me of an incident that happened at my college. Remember when you helped me with that? Like it was an English subject, and I was supposed to like make a presentation about like psychology and its relations with typology or whatever.
Yeah, I gave you Jungian stuff, I remember.
Yeah, I tried my hardest to simplify and summarize all of the shit, and then when my presentation happened, although I worked, like I was the only one working for a whole group of 4, and then when I just presented my thing, I got a grade of 30%. Why? I went to the professor's office and asked her, why did you give me that grade? And she was like, well, I got bored. Then I was like, is that, a valid like excuse? Is that a reason? Do you think it's a good reason to give me that grade? And she was like, no, I just got bored. The topic was boring. Then I was like, well, why did you give us a topic about psychology if you got bored about like, a new concept, a new idea about this shit?
I would report
And-
that professor.
I did. But what's worse is,
They're gonna defend their own.
yeah, what's worse, they're gonna defend their own. So what I did was, I was like, well, you clearly don't know about the topic. You just gave us the title of the topic, and then you were like, okay, just like wait for students to do it. Although I
Use
used
the word "she's a bitch" and move on. Yeah, that's what I would do.
exactly like
Yeah.
I used enough advanced vocabulary, although it was like an English preparatory type of fucking shit that college made, because it's like runs on English, so we have to teach the students how to speak English and do English or whatever. Do you give me that grade because I was like too advanced with my level, and because you were bored?
Bored. No, that word just pisses people off. I think I would have lost it if I was at your place. No problem. Yeah.
Oh, look, here's another problem that's popular in Kuwait. I got graded based on my looks.
Man. Oh God. Like I want to talk, but we had a professor that gave the girls all the good grades and shat in our faces. Yeah.
You know? No,
Look at that, right, great.
Yes.
Yes.
No, okay.
Oh,
like, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Engineering department, they're filled with like assholes, right? So
Yep.
the gals actually had to do some work in Kuwait University, but in the science department, things are a bit different, right? And Darkrai is a major in chemistry, and the systematic racism and oppression he suffered for being a male with male parts. It's morally reprehensible.
Why did you talk about that? A professor that gives good grade to females.
No, it's actually a more common problem than one thinks. You know, everybody knows that movie stereotype, you know, of the college professor who, like, you know, I'll do anything for an A, and be like, really? And then stuff happens. There's a reason this archetype exists, because most college professors do not have the social maturity to be in a healthy relationship. All right? So I'm actually not surprised that stereotype exists. I don't know how common it is, you know, ever since they fire you from the entire fucking world if you do it. Maybe it dwindled down, but
Maybe
that only
if you
means
do it like if you do less stuff, like maybe you just give good grades to girls or cute boys, whatever your preference is. Yeah. If you do it subtly, like if you're okay with just speaking to them, opening up discussions with the girls in class, I think nobody would suspect anything. At least not the higher
I'm
ups.
just gonna send this golden meme because it fits the topic so fucking perfectly.
What the fuck?
What-
Look at the comments.
let's see.
It's on private chat.
Holy shit! One professor in law school, man. He's new guy. Dude, if that's not prostitution, I don't know what is.
This is halal prostitution.
Yup. Okay, check the link. That
Okay, Babushka, you can share screen from your own thing and show us. You don't have to.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I know the meme. I know the meme.
All right. Let's do this. Let's see.
Can it share screen with the sound?
I'm not sure. It sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. I don't know exactly how it functions, and I'm too lazy to test for it.
All right, it goes like this. I don't know if you can hear it.
Oh, I know.
Oh
Okay.
shit, we can't hear it, but it's gold.
If you can
I think you will.
without kissing my cock. That
Bedrock.